Squash, the most physically demanding sport of all. Inherent to squash are the mental challenges of chess and golf, but also, in addition, the extreme physical demands of marathons and track and field 100-meter sprints. The best in the world chase one another around the globe in the most exotic locations in duels to the finish. Next to Canada's Great Lake, Ontario, a few steps away from the CN Tower, the Sky Dome, and Toronto's Financial Centre, these extraordinary athletes meet again within award-winning BCE Place.
Please welcome the participants in this semi-final match. From England, Peter NICOL, and from Canada, Jonathan Power.
Your expert commentators for this match, Alan Tatcher and Steve Hall.
YMG Capital Pro Squash.
Serving from the left box, and welcome to all our listeners joining us on squashlive.com for the second semi-final, the YMG Classic in Toronto. Earlier, Stuart Boswell of Australia beating Lee Beechell of England. So Boswell the first to book his place in the final. And now the big one, NICOL v Power. First blood to NICOL. Power's forehand boast hits the tin. One love NICOL. I'm joined in the back row commentary box by Steve Hall from Dunlop, North America. Steve, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
An absolutely great match in prospect there, Jonathan. Just hammering that drive into the tin.
Two quick unforced errors from Jonathan.
So Peter NICOL leading 2-love, serves from the left. Peter, that firm, crisp drive, hard and low down the side wall. Jonathan puts in a drop. Peter gets the ball back, but it bounces on his left toe. He just flicks the ball across to Jonathan. Power serves, left box, 1-2. And you could see there, even though Peter lost the point, just how quick he is going forward.
Well, Jonathan's not shy going short so far.
Yeah.
He's really forcing it. Pace is starting off amazingly quick right now.
Peter just flicking the ball across court. NICOL drops, Power across court, NICOL volley. And Power volley kill at the front. And Jonathan Power gets back to 2-2. Forehand volley drop. Beautiful shot. The crowd love it. Lots of noise already. Everybody fired up. Not only these two players, Steve.
The racket seems to be working for Jonathan so far, but
well, Peter keeping the ball straight, deep, and tidy. Jonathan, the more expansive and creative. One of the great shot makers in the world of squash. Peter hits across court. Jonathan just flicks that lazy drop into the front right corner. But Peter, one of the quickest guys in the game, onto it in a flash. And here we are 25 shots later. They're still going strong. Power of 3-all boast just pops out of the nick. That's loose from Jonathan, straight from Peter. Peter cross courts. Up and down the forehand wall. Jonathan high volley cross court. Peter hard low drive, followed by the lob. Peter cross courts. Jonathan twisting and turning. Boast from Power. Hard, fierce cross court from NICOL. Same from Power. The straight drop from Power. As you say, Steve, Jonathan not afraid to go short, but that time he wins the rally. The ball dying in the back left corner.
Peter was definitely trying to make the pace there, but he ended up on the short end of the stick with that.
And Jonathan just flicking that ball deep. Power leads 3-2. First game in the semi-final. And that amazing rally between these two. Lightning reflexes from both players. And the rally continues. NICOL cross court, straight from Power, straight from NICOL. And the right and the left wall. Power goes for the nick. The ball bounces around the service box. Stroke to NICOL.
Jonathan's looking for that nick.
Stroke to NICOL, 3-all. NICOL serves, right-hand box. Power drives cross-court. Lets it bounce off the back. That's sat up at the front. Peter hard, low cross-court. But Jonathan gets the racket behind the ball very quickly. Peter then stretching Jonathan with a boast. Makes Jonathan go front right.
He's moving him really well to this point.
3-all, NICOL.
Quite surprised he's not more content to just rally.
Well, he wants to stretch Jonathan going forward into that front right corner with those punishing. And the referee correcting his score. Now 4-3 NICOL.
That might have been a free point.
NICOL smiles across at Power. Jonathan.
No protest from Jonathan.
No, that's most unusual. Tight drop from NICOL. NICOL volleys as Jonathan scrapes the ball up. Jonathan volleys hard low. Peter scampers across. NICOL twists.
Side to side.
Unbelievable pickup by Peter NICOL. Peter drives it into the nick. Jonathan digs that one out. This is great squash already. Jonathan goes short. NICOL lobs. Power volleys. NICOL cross court. Side to side. Players trading cross courts. Both guys looking for the nick, not just Power. Peter wants to see how fit Jonathan is. He wants to see how strong he is.
Peter's getting tested this rally.
Stretching side to side. And that's tight from both players. On the right-hand wall, short by Power, lobbed by NICOL, loose from Power. NICOL volley drop. The ball hits the nick and just spins down that right-hand wall. 5-3 NICOL.
Great rally. Peter really hung in on that one, and he ended up with the shot that made the rally.
And Jonathan looking at the sidewall, the ball just clung to that right-hand wall. And Steve, you probably noticed when you were on court this afternoon those little holes in the left-hand side.
Well, there's definitely some nicks to be had on that court. A few imperfections at the back wall certainly adds for a little target practice for the boys.
And NICOL under assault there from Jonathan's potent weapons at the front of the court. Peter dragged over to the left wall. Power cross court. NICOL unable to get to the ball. Power serving 4-5.
Some great holds by Jonathan thus far to just get Peter up front and then pull him to the back.
And they're dragging each other with those boasts. That's loose from Jonathan. Peter thinks it's a stroke. Swings the racket, saying this is what I would have done had Jonathan not been in the way, but let ball.
Fairly clean match with the referees so far.
Just a little problem with the maths.
Early.
But they're a little mid-court collision. Let ball. Power about to serve from the left. Peter hoists it high. Jonathan goes low straight away. Jonathan slices it into the front right corner. That will be a stroke. Loose shot from Peter.
Very tight from Jonathan now to force that loose shot.
5-all. Power serving from the right. Forces Peter to go deep and to rock back on his heels. But Peter, a great mover, supremely fit, supremely strong. He knows that Jonathan's going to make him work. He knows Jonathan's going to try and chop him up at the front.
It really is quite amazing the way Peter can handle the way Jonathan throws him side to side, and he just stays fresh all of it.
And that's loose from Jonathan. Peter hammers that backhand. Cross court, 6-5 NICOL. That hard, low backhand cross court drive.
I think that's the key for Peter. If he can get in front and control that tee, that's where he's going to control the match.
You've seen that shot from Peter. So effective. He just steps forward and unleashes that backhand cross-court with immense power. And there he's making Power stretch in the front right corner. Loose ball from Jonathan, stroke to Peter. NICOL leads 7-5. And this is a real seesaw first game, Steve.
Well, I think they're both trying to feel their way through this first game. Certainly Peter knows Jonathan had a tough match last night, but I'm surprised he's forcing it as he is. He's content to go short and make some shots.
And there you can hear the ferocity with which these two players are striking the ball. Jonathan that time going short with a volley. Peter showing his renowned skills of retrieval. Power goes short, NICOL drops, Power comes through. Let ball, Jonathan shakes his head.
This could be the
Appeals.
first.
And the appeal referee says stroke to Power.
I think that's the right call. I think that's the right call.
It was a loose ball from Peter, but as you said earlier, forced by some devastating attacking play already from the tall Canadian Jonathan Power. And that's 7-6 NICOL leading. Tight boast from
down.
Power, but the ball just hitting the top of the tin.
Jonathan with a big smile after that mistake. Interesting tactic.
NICOL leading 8-6.
You can really see how Jonathan wants to try to relax the rallies, and Peter is stepping up, really trying to force the pace. He wants to make Jonathan work.
Peter's playing a very fast, aggressive game. He wants to get Jonathan in those back corners. He wants him behind him.
He's looking for those volleys.
And Peter just loves to get people deep, force the loose one, step forward for the volley. Jonathan goes short, Peter hoists it high, back left corner, Peter straight down the wall, Jonathan that roll over wrist backhand drop. Power boasts, NICOL cross court, NICOL volleys short. Power goes forward, flicks it cross court. Great rally, big rally, longest of the match so far. Up and down the right wall, Power cross courts. Power back left, goes short. NICOL lobs. Power just drives it deep again. NICOL boasts, stretches Jonathan, and NICOL plays a fabulous backhand volley drop. The ball nicks. Power makes a very ambitious appeal.
9-6.
No
let. 9-6 NICOL. NICOL's in the
No
service box.
protest from Jonathan. That was a great rally. Peter really moved him around the court.
And there we saw light on cue. Doesn't always happen, but Peter working Jonathan deep.
Jonathan's got his hand on his chest, on his
hip.
right side on the hip. Might be feeling some of these long rallies.
And Peter goes in short this time. That drop shot just clips the top of the tin. 7-9. Power serves left box. Serving on to Peter, NICOL's backhand. Peter cross court straight from Power. Cross court NICOL. Straight from NICOL. Forehand ball. Up and down the line. We went
Tight
sweet.
shot, very tight
And
shot.
then NICOL drop. Power cross court. Peter takes it off the back ball. Cross courts. Power back left. Goes short. NICOL cross court deep. High from Power. Floated cross court NICOL. High from NICOL to the back left. Power goes short. Power deep this time. NICOL boasts. He wants to drag him short. And NICOL, that's a winning boast. Power puts the ball in the tin. NICOL 10-7.
Forced Jonathan up to the front, and he just couldn't quite pick up that shot.
Steve is ripping in those boasts, isn't he?
Oh, he's really moving. Great moving boasts. And I think that all comes from the fact that he's getting up there and taking the ball early. He's not letting Jonathan pull him to the back at all.
And Jonathan, a high volley. Peter takes it off the back wall. Slight collision, let ball. NICOL serves, right box, 10-7, first game. Already we're seeing squash of the highest quality. Both players attacking, some fantastic retrieving. But NICOL on top at the moment, 10-7, first game. NICOL lobs, Power volleys. NICOL back left, hard low cross court. NICOL now working Jonathan. Beautiful drop from NICOL. Power lobs, NICOL volleys. Power goes short, just above the tin. It's really difficult to tell whether that's up or down because the noise is the same. And NICOL, the left-hander, drives the ball into the left-hand nick. Power gets the nick. Sorry, Power gets the let.
He got the nick, but Peter got the let.
10-7, NICOL leading. Power goes short immediately, drives it deep. And he's sending Peter from corner to corner this time. Peter having to go forward to cover the short stuff, and then Jonathan sending him deep with that late flick. He just loves to hold these shots, Steve.
He's definitely, Jonathan's really starting to get in front of Peter these last couple of rallies, and it's starting to make a bit of a difference.
And Peter NICOL having to work,
Forcing him
really hard to stay in this rally. But Jonathan, backhand into the tin, mid-court, no pressure, 11-7 NICOL. Peter will be extremely relieved at how that rally ended.
Those long rallies, Jonathan seems to be the one coming out with the unforced errors, so Peter's certainly liking that.
NICOL, 11-7, leads this opening game, and Power again, backhand, tin, third in a row. Thank you, Julia. Power just losing his concentration. Peter NICOL, 12-7.
Jonathan's starting to look a bit agitated. He might be feeling a bit of those long rallies starting to creep into his body.
And that was a slow turn from Jonathan. I don't know if you noticed that, Steve, going from the tee to the back right corner.
He's certainly not eager to see the serve.
Jonathan chips it short, NICOL drops. Unbelievable. Peter shakes his head, and the appeal referee says no let. Peter agrees. Jonathan starts his first debate. The well-known Toronto Debating Society swings into action. Peter NICOL, 13-7, 2 points from taking his first game.
As this match goes on, I don't think there'll be any shortages of debates. Peter with a little deception there, throwing Jonathan the wrong way.
A loose volley from Peter. Jonathan picks the ball up. He's got a stroke. 8-13. NICOL shakes his head. Power serve, left box. NICOL goes short. Volley from NICOL. Power goes short again. NICOL drops, stretches from both players. Great rally, but NICOL's shot squirts out towards the tee. Both players staring at the referee. Well, the referee said all balls were good. Well, I think Jonathan was expecting a stroke.
I think he wanted the stroke, but...
Player let, please. Jonathan's not too impressed with that decision, Steve. And the appeals referee says...
It's hard to impress Jonathan.
Stroke to Power.
Stroke to Power.
8-13. Peter NICOL looks up to the ceiling.
Terrible shot. He put his racket out.
Peter now has a
behind
chat.
him and hit on the frame. He just saw him, just got a racket on him. There's no way that's a stroke. But it was a terrible
Peter
shot.
says no way was that a stroke.
Peter giving a little lesson in the rules there to the referees. What's a let and what's not a let.
So Power gets 2 decisions in a row. A little bump on the tee.
9-13.
Jonathan deciding to just roll around Peter's shoulder rather than chase that ball into the back right corner.
I don't think he wants to expend any extra energy than he has to.
And Steve, I'm really pleased that you've joined us in the commentary box with a bit of inside knowledge on Jonathan.
Well, I think this is going to be a great match, and it's great to be here. Certainly any battle between Power and NICOL is always a pleasure to be at live.
Martin Heath, not exactly a no-show, but I think he's suffering the after effects of Toronto hospitality. Let's just leave it at that.
I think Heath has had a bit of a tough go. He's been fighting some injuries, but hopefully the Toronto hospitality will bring him back into the top 10. I think potentially his ranking could drop out of the top 10 with this performance at this tournament.
Certainly was a sluggish performance from Heath in that first round, but now Jonathan wins 2 points in a row. 11-13. Power serves right box. NICOL high wide return. NICOL goes short. Power great retrieving. Power boasts. NICOL that flick drop. Power covers it brilliantly with a straight rolling drop.
He knew where that
12-13.
shot. He knew where that shot was going right from the start. He was all over that. That was a great shot by Jonathan.
Power serves from the left, slices it in the low. Peter NICOL now having to work hard.
Jonathan showed an uncanny ability to come back with Paul Price. He was down almost every match or every game, and he's showing that again here in this game against Peter.
As I said earlier, that last game, the fifth, and one of the most amazing games I've ever seen in 25 years of watching squash. Jonathan was behind all the way. The only time he was ahead was when he won the match, 15-14.
I think seeing anyone come back from 14-10 down with the shots that Jonathan was able to execute was absolutely amazing. It was a great match. I still question Paul Price's decision to call one at 14-all.
Absolutely.
That's history now.
And that's loose. That'll be a stroke to NICOL.
Like this, I couldn't hit the ball.
Yes, I have 12-13.
Jonathan giving a demonstration of his helicopter shot. Peter can't believe that. It's a let ball. And that was right in the middle, Steve.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that was a let. 13-12.
And that time, Peter, from the left-hand wing, he drives that ball hard and low, cross-court. He steps over the serve. And Jonathan, for some reason, has stopped.
I think he's protesting that the ball was down, but that ball was clearly up. That
Well,
was
it was
a great
certainly
shot
down
from Peter.
when it bounced 15 times past his racket to take Peter NICOL to game ball, 14-12. And Power goes short from the back. NICOL counter drop. That's loose from Power. NICOL lobs. Power volleys. NICOL sprints to the back right to stay in the rally. Power switches it, a little slice. An amazing recovery by Peter as Power drove that ball tight down the right-hand wall. This is amazing stuff. But that's a
Great short shot.
Jonathan, the backhand kill. He's back at 13-14.
Great reflexes from both players in that rally, but an amazing shot by Jonathan to finish that off.
Well, he had to win that rally 5 times. And this time, Peter works in deep.
You don't get any easy rallies from Peter, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
You gotta work for everything.
Power goes short, left-hand side. NICOL leaves that one, takes it off the back wall. Thought about the volley. This time, Power volleys right-hand wall. NICOL drives it deep. Backs to the tee to find Jonathan Power coming in.
Jonathan not showing much effort to try and get that let.
Just a gentle tap on the shoulder. NICOL on game ball, 14-13. Both go short. NICOL lobs. Power volleys. NICOL chases. Power switches. Cross-court. Peter boasts. Power plays it back. Unbelievable work by Peter. 3 in a row. But that time, Power wins the rally. 14-all. NICOL calls 3. The crowd go mad.
Amazing gets by Peter to extend that rally, but Jonathan once again showing his ability to come back. He was down, I believe, 14-12 in that.
Against Price yesterday, Power doing the same. There's a real Houdini act yesterday. Can he do it again tonight?
Jonathan always loves a flair for the dramatics, so here's his chance again.
And that was immaculate length from Peter NICOL. He works him short. Power boasts. Peter dives.
Great boast by
And that's
Jonathan.
15-14. Power leads. Great squash.
Really pulled Peter over to the right, and then that quick boast over to the left-hand side of the court. Peter didn't know where it was. It's a great shot by Jonathan.
Power now works it short, front right. Jonathan hacks it off the side wall. Peter drives it hard low. NICOL volleys, goes for the nick. Power tries the inside out boast and hits the tin.
He went for the reverse boast, but it was just a little bit low.
15-all. Peter smiles. Thank you very much. Very sporting. Well, Jonathan sent the crowd the wrong way.
Win or lose, I think Peter's enjoying this game. It's exactly what he would want, a long first game to get himself into it and get Jonathan feeling his match with Paul Price yesterday.
That's 15-all, first game. Let's hope this is one of their classic encounters. Jonathan goes short from behind the left-hand service box, hits the tin. Peter NICOL, game ball, 16-15.
An unforced error from Jonathan at a crucial point gives Peter game ball.
NICOL serves high from the left, tight return from Power. NICOL puts the ball down the wall. Unbelievably, Power gets a stroke. And the appeals referee says let.
Certainly, I think that's the right call to call that a let.
Well, certainly this appeal system adds to the drama, Steve.
It certainly does. The obstruction, though, was close to the tee, and that ball was fairly tight, so that was certainly the right call.
And Jonathan, once again, exercising his tonsils as Peter prepares to serve from the left. Game ball. NICOL serves. Power, hard return. NICOL will want to close this out. Pushes Power in the back, let ball.
Peter taking his time before this serve.
Just getting focused, high and low. Jonathan lets it go off the back ball, works it short. NICOL drops, that's tight, and it goes over Power's shoulder. And Peter can't believe. Stroke to NICOL. First game to Peter NICOL.
Certainly a stroke.
17-15.
Certainly a stroke on that last point.
Absolutely.
Appeal judge once again coming into play.
17-15. Peter NICOL leads 1 game to love against his great rival, Jonathan Power.
Back to the action with Alan Tatcher and Steve Hall.
Tuning in to squashlive.com. Here we are in Toronto with Peter NICOL leading Jonathan Power. 1 game to love in the semi-final of the YMG Classic. Stuart Boswell of Australia already booking his place in the final by beating England's Lee Beachill earlier this evening. That's a stroke to Power, 1 love, start of the second game. NICOL goes short, loose from Power.
Once again, that was a stroke that sprayed out from the front wall for Peter and was just an unlucky bounce that got him into that stroke situation.
And NICOL works Power short, then lobs, moves into the back. Jonathan attacks from the back, but Peter goes forward to the front right corner. Flicks the ball across court. Jonathan sees it late. Great shot from NICOL. 1-all.
And that's what we're seeing more and more from Peter. He's able to hold the racket, flick Jonathan the wrong way. I think he's worked a lot in his game with that over the past few years. That was a great shot by Peter.
Well, Peter is a great student of the game, as his coach Neil Harvey. And they spend many, many hours not only on court, but talking off it, just
watching the
plotting
videos
and
and analyzing. I'm quite surprised we don't see Neil Harvey here today.
He doesn't go to all the tournaments.
Certainly with the fact that there's been a reduction in the PSA schedule, I would have thought there would be a little bit of interest to come and see it.
Maybe he was just super confident.
That's right. Wow. Certainly Peter's playing very well that shot.
And there Jonathan Power winning that rally.
Great nick on the
to
right
go
wall.
3-1 ahead.
It's quite amazing from Jonathan just how quick sometimes he can pull out some points with the weapons that he has at the front court.
And Jonathan, a very instinctive player there, just
another right
whipping
wall
in a fabulous forehand volley kill.
That ball was fairly tight to that wall, and Jonathan's still able to find that nick on the right wall.
And that's sensational skill from Jonathan Power. NICOL loose volley. The ball bouncing in the service box. Power comes over. Give me a stroke. No decision.
Still waiting.
No decision from the appeal referee that we could hear. Power
I was
serving
quite sure the
forward.
way Power put his hands out, that was an appeal, but we didn't hear an appeal decision.
Maybe it was in Jonathan's own unique language. Mostly unprintable.
Canadian discussion.
Power goes for that forehand kill. And then goes for the cross cross-court kill.
Great cross-court.
5-1 Power.
A low shot cross-court. Peter thinking it was going straight. Great shot by Jonathan.
A great switch, right to left from Power. He's 5-1 up.
Jonathan knocking off 5 points to get an early lead in this second game. Good length from Peter there.
And that ball, Peter working that length immaculately. Jonathan unable to get the ball back. NICOL serves 2-5. Power instantly on the attack. Goes short, front left, and that's loose from Power. Stroke to NICOL. And there the trademark Jonathan dragging the hand down the face in frustration.
Big smile, hand down the face. That's quite right. Trademark it is.
3-5, NICOL.
And NICOL staying the course, just ready to serve, keeping his focus.
A lob from NICOL, right to left. Power keeps it straight. Right hand wall, NICOL cross-courts. Short from Power, not tight. NICOL hammers it, and Power hits the ball out. 4-5. NICOL wins 3 points in a row to stem that flow of winners emerging from Power's racket, and that time Power hits it short, front right.
Great quick cross-court right off the serve. I think Peter not thinking about that serve and threw a loose one in that he paid for.
6-4, Power. Jonathan works it deep. Left-hand wall down the line again. Peter cross-courts. Power hoists it high, so does NICOL. Power cross-courts, so does NICOL. NICOL slices it down that left-hand wall. NICOL stretches for the volley. Power goes short. NICOL goes deep. NICOL.
Certainly Peter working a little more side to side. Jonathan quite relaxed in this rally.
Well, I think Peter wants to twist him, get him working side to side.
Definitely does. He knows Jonathan can be fragile once he starts to feel the body, and I think that's exactly his strategy, to try and work him side to side.
NICOL hits it hard and low, deep into that right corner. Follows with a boast, and Jonathan
Great drop shot.
covers it with a perfect backhand drop.
Bit of a suspect boast from Peter. I'm not quite sure why he threw that up there. He had the chance to put that to length. Jonathan making him pay.
And Peter, the great sportsman, just leaving the ball in the front right corner, saying to Jonathan, you go and get it. Power leads 7-4. Let ball. Power serve 7-4, right box.
Both players looking a bit confused on that call.
Power goes short. NICOL drops. NICOL volleys down the middle. Great length from NICOL. Power gets it off the back wall. NICOL drops. NICOL plays it deep. Jonathan chasing corner to corner to stay in the rally, then pushes in an immaculate drop. Now Peter does the running. Power lobs left to right. NICOL steps in volley. Volley from Power. Peter tins it. Great rally. Both players chasing, but it's Power leading 8-4.
Both players had the chance to take some lefts there, but they decided to play through the shots, and Jonathan coming out on the plus end.
Well, that was like a volley routine.
Great reflexes from both players. Just amazing, the shots at the front that they're able to pick up.
NICOL leads 1 game to love, but Power 8-4 up in the second. NICOL lobs off the Power drop. Power lobs deep, just stays in. Power drives. NICOL stretches to get the ball back. Immaculate touch from Power, just chopping the ball in at the front right corner. 9-4, Power.
Tough rally, both players getting jerked side to side, and Jonathan just coming up with a great shot to end that rally at the front corner.
And that time, loose ball from Power. NICOL volleys. NICOL goes for the nick. And Jonathan is on the other side of the building, but still gets a let.
I think Peter just barely missed that nick, so he was able to salvage a let off that rally.
Great retrieving by Peter NICOL on this left-hand wall. Short from Power. NICOL drops. Power drops. NICOL flicks it high. Power volleys. NICOL sends him deep. Back right corner. Same again. Power goes short. NICOL lobs. Power just flicks it high and deep. Peter NICOL doing the chasing. That's loose from Peter. Power cross courts. It's short, front left from Power. Gentle nudge in the back from Peter NICOL. Jonathan screams, as only Jonathan can.
Some
Yes,
fairly...
let.
Peel's judge comes into play again. I think that is a let, though. Jonathan wasn't able to find the nick on that. I think Peter would have
Jonathan
tracked that down.
smiles. Looks across to Peter NICOL, serves at his body. Peter turns, takes it off the back wall. I think you've seen one or two of those before. There's a great volley from NICOL. And again, Power covers both. Great squash. Every rally produces something different. Skid bows from NICOL. Power
Great
hits the
shot
nick.
by Peter.
And Peter hits the other nick, front right.
Unbelievable
5-9.
pickup by Peter. Jonathan, that was so close to a dead nick. Peter able to get his racket on it and hit a dead nick the other side.
That's loose from Power. Stroke to NICOL. The inevitable debate from Power. Shakes his head.
I think when you hit a ball that loose, you got to expect a stroke, and
6-9 NICOL.
certainly it was that rally.
Anyone watching in Britain will be familiar with the comedy character Kevin, played by Harry Enfield. And this guy, Steve, he's a teenager who keeps saying it's not fair, whatever his parents tell him. Very reminiscent of Jonathan sometimes when he talks to officials.
Jonathan's certainly feeling that he's... Great shot.
NICOL again getting back on top, telling Jonathan that hit the strings, don't worry. 7-10, NICOL serving, right box.
Momentum
bounces the ball.
shifting to Peter again. He's back in here, 7-10, NICOL serving.
Power goes short, NICOL goes deep. No surprise there.
Amazing to watch how both players from rally to rally are dominating the tee. Jonathan stepping up for a number of rallies.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
great
called
shot.
down.
Ball was called down.
Sure?
Peter says, are you sure? And the appeal referee
was
says
good.
the ball was good, I'm sorry. Jonathan firing it in from the back. Jonathan now, 11-7.
Don't often hear an
left.
apology from the officials.
NICOL goes short. Fabulous drop. Great retrieving. And again, Power dives. NICOL drops. Power gets it back. Power dives again. NICOL had to win that rally 5 times. Power, the most amazing side-to-side retrieving. No left. Power goes ballistic.
Jonathan goes crazy.
NICOL just driving the ball past him. And Power wanders into the back right corner, goes walkabout, head in hands, can't believe it.
There wasn't much interference there. Jonathan had a chance to hit that shot. He chose to roll the dice with the officials, and certainly I think that was the right call.
NICOL, 8-11. Tight, down the left-hand wall, Power cross courts. NICOL cross courts, back left, Power short, NICOL drop, in the nick. And Power gets the let. NICOL shakes his head.
That was a fairly tight shot from Peter, just about a dead nick, but Jonathan able to squeeze the officials for a call.
Well, the retrieving Jonathan had to do in that last rally suggests that maybe he would have got that ball back. And
Great
Power
shot.
shooting in that backhand drop from behind the service box. 12-8 Power.
Trademark nonchalant backhand drop shot puts it into
Loose
the net.
return off the serve by NICOL. 13-8 Power.
Once again, the momentum shifting to Jonathan's favor, and he's getting close to having a game ball.
Well, Jonathan showing a lot of variety on the serve. A couple of minutes ago, we saw him hammering the ball into Peter's body. That time off the side wall. That time Jonathan tins it. Peter serves right box. Jonathan slices it cross court. Back left to front right. NICOL lobs. Power volleys. NICOL volleys. Back right. NICOL turns. Lobs cross court. Power goes short from the back. NICOL lobs. Power volleys. Hits the nick. Sits up. Power lobs. NICOL, that's loose around the service box. Jonathan drives it deep. It dives in the back right corner. taking Jonathan Power to game ball, 14-9.
Jonathan able to hold his racket for that length shot down the right wall, hit it to perfect length. Peter unable to dig it out of the back corner.
And Jonathan
Game to
Power
Jonathan.
wins the second game once again, firing that ball into the back right corner, deep onto Peter NICOL's backhand. That's 1 game all. Steve Hall, we've got a great match.
Back to the action with Alan Tatcher and Steve Hall.
Third game underway. 1 game all. Power v NICOL. The great match everybody wants to see. Stroke to Power, 1 love.
Jonathan's shots up front, especially those volley drops, are really starting to shape up for him. He's made a lot of points with those over the last number of rallies.
Peter NICOL, 1 or 2 unforced errors in that last game. He'll want to tighten things up, get back on top, just control the pace and the rhythm of this match. Another stroke, but Peter, 2 strokes, 2 points to Power.
Jonathan getting the momentum early in this third game. Peter's looking for those shots though. He's definitely not shy to go short.
Peter's so quick going forward, and he's working those volley kills. And there the boast, Jonathan drops, Peter lobs. Jonathan back right, that's loose down the middle. Peter turns, sticks in the boast, Jonathan goes forward. Peter drives that volley into the front left corner. Jonathan recovers again, this time an amazing end to that rally. Peter had Jonathan on a string, but Power wins the rally.
Jonathan able to back Peter up at the tee, and he was just able to put a shot enough cross court that Peter couldn't quite reach.
And Power winning with that touch shot in the front left corner, 3 love Power. Power goes short again. NICOL going from front left to back right, Power volley in the tin. Peter escapes, 1-3.
Jonathan seems to be gaining a lot of confidence with his racket. He's starting to go for the shots, and that was quite an untimely miss, but he's really putting his racket together these last number of rallies.
Peter steps up the pace, firm, crisp, drives, high, deep. Down the forehand wall, Peter cross courts. That's loose from NICOL, stroke to Power. Let ball, yes let.
Surprised by that call with how loose that shot was.
That was between the service box and the midcourt line.
Uncharacteristically loose from Peter.
Peter boasts, now he's at full stretch. Power drops, nicks it. Not up comes the crowd. Peter NICOL flicks the ball cross court as the call came. 4-1 Power.
Jonathan once again getting up early.
Well, he's working Peter deep, then standing on the tee, just poised, waiting to pounce, hunting down that ball. Wants to work it in those front corners. He's slicing it into the nick. Peter gets it out. Power drops. NICOL lobs. Great squash. Unbelievable retrieving from Peter NICOL. Power hoists it high. Forehand. Now left. NICOL cross courts. Power drives. Right hand. Left hand wall. NICOL at the front. Hammers it cross court. Leans on Power. Goes round. Plays the ball. Power flicks it. Late down the line, forehand, then left hand. Peter's doing a lot of work, but he's looking comfortable. Nothing too tight so far from Jonathan with the length shots, but Jonathan now goes short. NICOL lobs, that's loose from Power. NICOL plays a fantastic stock volley, front right corner.
Certainly Peter working extremely hard through those first number of rallies, and especially that rally, but what a great shot to finish that off.
NICOL, 2-4. Third game, 1 game all. Great pickup by NICOL. Power delays, drives across court. NICOL boast, Power straight drop, NICOL cross court. Power straight, NICOL a big diagonal off the back wall. Power at the front, drives it deep. NICOL back right, NICOL drives it. Gets Power in the back corner. Great rally, great squash.
Once again,
play.
just a punishing rally for Peter, getting worked around the court.
Power goes short from the back. NICOL hammers it cross court, and Power, facing the front wall, just flicks that lazy little trickle boast, but it hits the tin.
Lazy unforced error from Jonathan to lose that point, but Peter certainly made him hit the extra shots in that rally to win it.
3-4, NICOL. That rally had just about everything, Steve.
Well, Peter just about drawing this game even.
And NICOL volleys that ball down the left hand wall, loose ball from Power, but Power somewhat fortunate to get the let.
That was a
3-4
tight
NICOL.
ball from Peter. I think he was fortunate.
And now Peter moving Power around into that back right corner. Jonathan scrapes that one up, loose from Power. Peter hammers it in front left, but Jonathan digs the ball out. Power goes short, NICOL drops, hits the nick. Power's behind him. Let ball.
Not appealing. Would have thought he would have appealed that, possibly a stroke. That came loose, that ball.
Yeah. Power was nearer to his opponent than the ball. Power goes short, NICOL digs it up. Power short again, NICOL drops. Power runs into NICOL's back. NICOL shakes his head. Let ball. Yes, let, says the appeals referee.
A consistent call from the referees. That was just about the same call that Peter received a let, or that Jonathan received a let on one rally before.
Well, Peter's pinched a couple of points here to get back to 3-4. And there, Jonathan.
Miss-hit winner.
Absolutely. He'll say, I meant to do that. Power 5-3.
It's all about those Dunlop frames.
I think we'll start charging you for this, Steve. Any more of that stuff? NICOL goes short. And that's cooled down. No dispute from Jonathan. NICOL 4-5, right hand box.
Peter definitely lowering his targets. He's starting to really shoot down.
Oh, and there Peter NICOL, lazy, in the tin, 6-4 Power.
Some loose shots in the middle. Peter going for that shot and just missing it.
Well, Steve, just to correct the balance, obviously Peter is a Prince man.
He is certainly a Prince man.
Has been throughout his career, long-lasting relationship.
Well, and I think his loyalty to Prince, I mean, I have to commend him on that. His relationship, Neil Harvey's relationship and Peter's relationship with Prince is, as you said, been strong. And
well, I know you may not know this news from the UK, but Peter's absolutely delighted that Andy Bunting is back on board in the Prince team.
that's right, I did hear that. It sounds like Prince might be making a push back into squash after being absent for a few years.
Well, you guys have had your own way for a while in a marketing sense.
Well, Paul Walters has been aggressively out there, so he can go toe-to-toe with Andy Bunting now.
Paul aggressive, never, surely. Power leading 7-3, one game all. Power cross courts, NICOL off the back.
Great
wall.
get from
Power
Peter.
short. And Peter declining to do the big diagonal, back left to front right, Jonathan Power. 8-3.
Peter was stretched to that left corner. The only shot he had was that boast, and Jonathan was right there to drop it. He was too far away from it.
Change of score, 8-4.
Momentum once again back in Jonathan's favor.
This time Jonathan doing the chasing. But he's moving Peter back. Peter hits the ball down the middle, stroke to Power. 9-4.
Some unlucky loose shots from Peter, giving Jonathan a couple of strokes.
But Jonathan hammered that ball deep, forcing the error. 9-4, Power.
Peter seems like he's dropped a bit of a beat this game. He might be starting to feel some of those twists and turns side to side.
And Peter there unable to capitalize on a loose ball from Jonathan. Let ball. Tight from NICOL on this left-hand wall, cross court by Peter. Peter goes short, Power cross court. Loose from Peter, Power hoists it high and deep, back left. Tight again, same down that line. Power goes short, high from NICOL, Power volleys cross court. Nicol hoists it high, almost. Well, Peter did. He went the wrong way. He was going forward, looking for that little chip drop from Jonathan, and Jonathan deciding, I'll just move it into the back corner. Peter misses the ball, 10-4.
Jonathan's strength is breaking up the great
Jonathan's
shots.
serve. Peter hammered the serve, return into the nick. Power dug the ball out.
Overruled by the officials.
Let
yes,
ball,
let.
10-4.
Jonathan not protesting.
Well, Peter Nicol trailing 10-4, nothing to lose. He goes for the winner off the serve. Calms things down with a lob,
Great
but it
shot
wasn't
by
tight
Jonathan.
enough, wasn't high enough. And Jonathan just plucks the volley out of the air, 11-4.
Peter looking like he's starting to fade a little bit in these few points.
Well, he's just going through a soft patch, isn't he? He's not getting the length
The game
or
is all about
accuracy.
momentum. Oh, he had the...
But that time he sends Jonathan the wrong way. That little cross-court flick, 5-11.
He got the momentum quick back on that rally. Peter hitting some great shots.
And that's loose
Unlucky.
from Power, but Nicol
Unlucky.
puts the volley in the tin. 12-5 Power.
That was the right shot from Peter, just unlucky to hit the tin.
Peter, that high volleyed cross-court return of the serve is slowing the pace down in this rally. Power speeds it up, hits it low, Power lobs. Nicol loose, Power gets the racket back, gets the stroke. The appeal
Overruled
referee
by the
says let
official.
ball. 12-5, a little chuckle goes around the audience.
Once again, Jonathan playing through the call.
Nicol drops, Power loose. Nicol decides not to ask. Hammers the ball very close to Power's body. The rally goes on. Power decides to wait. Power standing on the ball, deciding not to play it. Let ball, 12-5.
Jonathan up 12-5, certainly with some confidence in this game. He's playing through some of these calls.
Power goes short from back left. Great shot.
Great shot.
Power goes 13-5.
He's made a lot of points on the, going short on that left side wall. Peter unable to pick that one up.
Nicol lobs is at full stretch in this rally. Loose from Power. Nicol chips in the drop. Power lobs. Nicol hammers that ball down the backhand line. Works it short, works it straight, works it deep.
Great rally from Peter. He really stepped up and forced that, and he was rewarded.
6-13, Peter Nicol, great control. A little chip across court from Nicol. Power reads it. Power lobs, Nicol boast, Power drop, Nicol drop. Power cross court, it's wide, Nicol stretches, Power goes to game ball, 14-6.
Jonathan hitting an extremely wide cross court. I think Peter was there to pick that one up, but Jonathan just able to stretch it by him.
Nicol lobs that return high into the back left corner. Nicol hits the
Enforced
tin
error.
off the volley, 15-6 Power. Power leads 2-1 here in Toronto.
Not what I would have
Semi-final.
expected from Peter.
Now back to the action with Alan Thatcher and Steve Hall.
To squashlive.com, wherever you are in the world. We hope you're enjoying this live transmission from BCE Place in Toronto. Love all. Start of the fourth game. Power leading 2-1.
This crowd certainly anticipating a Power win, but I don't think Peter's going to let him go easily.
Let ball. Peter not sure. He thinks he should have a stroke. Power serves left to right. Nicol straight down the line. Power straight ball. Power cross courts. Nicol hoists it out from the back corner. Power flicks it into the nick. One love Power.
Peter not choosing to ask for a let. A great shot from Jonathan, once again up short to that left side wall.
Power goes short, cross-court, slice. Nicol onto it. Again, cross-court from Power. Jonathan will want to get this over with quickly if he can. Nicol at full stretch. Power goes short. Nicol drops.
Great get by Peter to pick up that ball.
Nicol works in deep again and again. Tight down that forehand wall, but of course Nicol's backhand. The left-hander based in London. Seeded 3 this year. Very unusual to see Peter in the middle of a draw.
Well, they took the rankings from October, and Peter being at 3, Jonathan at 2, David Palmer at 1. Certainly changed the way the draws have looked over the past few years.
Well, in Qatar, Nicol had to get past Power in the semis and Palmer in the final, and did so to win the richest tournament on the men's tour this year. But Palmer already making his exit at the hands of Lee Beachill, and then Beachill going out tonight in the first semi-final to another Australian, Stuart Boswell.
I think Lee Beachill's knee was bothering him, but what a great match he played against David Palmer the other night. And taking out the world #1 is a great accomplishment for Lee.
And especially after that dead leg in the second game.
Well, he definitely pushed through the pain in that match.
And here we are, 1-1, 4th game. Nicol serves. Nicol goes round Power, and again, but this time Nicol unable to dig the ball out of the back right corner. 2-1 Power.
Jonathan using his body to keep Peter away from the shots, and he was able to keep him just away from that last one.
Power 3-1. Chipping in that straight forehand drop. Nicol's response called not up. Power lob serve right to left. Nicol high down the line on that left-hand wall. Power goes short. Nicol cross-court. Power back right. Posts Nicol. That hammers that slice cross-court into the side wall.
Great shot from Peter cross-court. Jonathan calling for the towel. He fell down. Being on the left-hand side, that forehand for Peter, able to quickly slam it to the right side of the court, really can make a difference. There
Jonathan,
it is again,
corner
flicking
to
that
corner.
forehand.
Power running, corner to corner. He works Power short. Loose ball from Power.
Appeals judge overruling that. Stroke to Peter.
We're just waking up the scoreboard operators who are hiding the scores from us. That's 3-3, 4th game.
A tight start to this 4th game. Peter's certainly looking a little fresher than he was at the end of the 3rd game.
Power lobs, Nicol volleys. Nicol straight volley down that right-hand wall. And Power volley in the tin.
Peter's come out in this 4th game looking for more length. He's not looking for that short shot quite as much, and he's so far being rewarded.
Nicol back in front, 4-3, serving from the right. High lob serve. Power goes short. Nicol goes deep. Power high slice down the left-hand wall. Cross-court Power high from Nicol, straight down the right wall. Power cross-court. Nicol drives it deep. Nicol volleys tight down the wall. Jonathan dives to get the ball back. Nicol drops. Power drops. Nicol lobs. Power strolls to the back left. Nicol drives it straight. Nicol volley, right hand deep. Lob from Nicol, high into that back left corner. Nicol forces Jonathan to run from back left to front right, but Nicol's volley drop is too good, too tight. He leads 5-3.
Great shot from Peter. Jonathan hitting the loose cross court. Peter right there to put him into the short nick on the right side of the court.
Well, Peter looked in control of that rally, and that's important to Peter, but this time he slams it into the tin.
Bit of an unforced
Forehand
error
volley.
from Peter.
And you don't see that very often from the world champion, Peter Nicol.
Peter really taking control of this game, this 4th game, and he's up 5-4.
Well, Power played a beautiful volley drop front left. 5-5.
Back to square.
Power serves, Nicol cross court. Power goes short. Power cross court. Nicol high, Power high. Floating down that left-hand wall.
Peter continuing to put pressure on Jonathan at the back of the court. Not trying to get into any sort of a game at the front.
Great drop from Jonathan. Brilliant retrieving by Nicol. And a little collision just by the right-hand service box. Let ball, 5-all.
Peter certainly not willing to give Jonathan any inch of space.
Nicol boasts, Power flicks cross court. Nicol high, straight, right wall, Power cross court. Incredible movement by Nicol to get that ball back. And Nicol now works it back left. Just wants to get the rhythm, get the pace under control. Nicol straight. Power's doing a lot of work in this rally. And Power just bumps into Nicol.
Bit of a nonchalant let.
5-all. Let's see who makes the surge from here. 5-all. Power serve. Nicol straight volley. Left-hand wall. Loose by Power. And there's that flick again.
Great shot.
Cross-court flick. This time left to right from Nicol.
Peter holding his forehand, looking like he's going to go straight, flicks it cross court. Jonathan unable to pick it up.
6-5 Nicol. Down the line. 99% of the people in this audience, I'm sure, want Power to win, but I also know they'd love to see this go to 5.
And I think they're enjoying this match. This is quite a great one.
Power goes short. Nicol lobs. Power firing in those drops from the back of the court. Power flicks it cross court. Loose lob by Nicol down the middle. Power volleys back right. Up and down that right-hand wall. Power goes short. Nicol lobs. Now it's down the left wall. 5, 6 shots in a row. Still there. Power goes short. It's loose. Nicol drives deep. Loose again from Power. Nicol drives deep. Power cross court. Nicol at full stretch. Loose. Power goes short. And that's an immaculate forehand volley kill. The loose ball from Nicol from the back. Power just pushing the ball short. 6-all.
Some fairly unforced exchange shots from both players, but Peter hitting that loose shot, Jonathan just slotting that into the net. Peter continuing to keep his length. He's not going short at all this game.
Power goes short. Nicol lobs. High, back right. Up and down that forehand wall. Bump and bruise on the tee. Let ball. Power serves. Left box. Jonathan Power, 2 or 3 inches taller than his opponent. Using that reach to good effect with that last winner, but this time it's a tinner. Drop shot from Power, loose.
Well, Peter choosing his short shots wisely. He was pulling Jonathan to the back with all his length, but that short shot wins that point.
7-6 Nicol. Serve hits the side wall, textbook serve. Nicol deep, back left. Nicol volley lob into that same back corner. Power goes short. Nicol lobs, left to right. Another collision on the tee, let ball. Nicol serving from the right-hand box. He wipes his hand on the wall, bounces the ball, 2 bounces and serves.
Peter almost seems to be the one that's trying to slow this game up.
Well, that was a perfect length from Nicol into that back right corner. And Power hits the ball into the floor. 8-6 Nicol.
Jonathan looking like he took his eye completely off that shot.
And it's high and deep from Nicol. Power goes short, front left. Cross-court Power, deep by Nicol. He's making Power do a lot of work. Power leans on his opponent, drives the ball into the tin. 9-6 Nicol.
Peter keeping the rally going, forcing Jonathan to make an unforced error.
Jonathan looking a little uncomfortable with his movement in that rally.
Certainly Peter, being down 2-1, needs to win this game, up 9-6.
Nicol goes short. Exchanging drives. Right-hand wall. Goes cross-court. Nicol, that flick
There's
again.
That flick cross-court.
Jonathan sees that one. Power goes left. Left-hand wall. Power deep. Nicol deep. Power goes short. Nicol, great drop.
Get from
Drop
Peter.
from Power, lob from Nicol, volley from Power. It's in the middle. Peter can't put it away. Power steps across, amazing volley, but brilliant retrieving by Nicol.
Tough rally
Steady
for
down
both
again.
players.
Start again, left-hand wall. Incredible squash. Power volleys, back right, Nicol, length. Power, length. High from Nicol, high again from Power. And that fantastic rally ends in a let. A deserved round of applause.
Both players happy to see that rally end.
9-6, Peter Nicol leads, but Power leading 2-1. Nicol just sliding that ball down the right-hand wall. He wants Power to work, but Jonathan hits that in the tin. Ambitious.
Jonathan's starting to show some tiredness, hitting a few unforced errors these last few rallies.
10-6, Nicol. Left-hand serve. Nicol drives it in the nick. No let Power. It's a loose return from Power. And Peter just hammering that volley into the front left nick. 11-6.
Certainly the right call. Peter finding the nick on that.
Tight stuff from Nicol. Power gets out of trouble by hoisting the ball to the back of the court. So does Nicol. Up and down that left-hand line. Power goes short. Nicol lobs. Power volleys. Nicol short. And now Power having to work to get that ball back. He's going back left again. It's at the front. Nicol just flicks it. This time the backhand from front right to back left. And it rolls along the floor into the left-hand service box. 12-6 Nicol.
Peter setting up that rally with some great length, just waiting for the shot that he could flick Jonathan.
And Peter just working those lobs into the back corners. Great pick up by Nicol. Flick by Power. Nicol gets it back. He stops, goes on. Nicol reads it. He's standing behind him. Volleys it deep. Incredible. Stop, start, rally. Power in the tin. Power complaining about something that happened 20 shots ago.
Peter playing a little bit of possum with Jonathan, stopping and then starting
13-6
again.
Nicol. Power coming off court for a chat. Saying that Nicol pushed him on that earlier shot, front left. Peter certainly stopped, but then responded quickly to get the ball back. Jonathan coming off for a chat. Nicol smiles, but I think there were 20 shots between that gentle nudge and the end of the rally.
I think Jonathan just wanted to take a little breather there.
And Nicol goes to game ball, 14-6.
Peter smelling the fifth here at 14-6.
Nicol serves left to right. Power drives that ball hard and low. 7-14.
Jonathan with some of his weapons, always dangerous when he's down. He gets relaxed and some of the shots can be quite amazing.
And that is a fantastic stuff from Nicol.
And there's the game.
Drives that ball into the tin. Game to Peter Nicol. It's what everyone wants. 2 games all.
This crowd happy to see a fifth. Well, I think Peter changing his game plan to go to length in that game.
Now back to the action with Alan Tatcher and Steve Hall.
Backhand as the players open this 5th game here in the semi-final. The YMG Classic in Toronto. And welcome back to listeners on squashlive.com. Every point, every rally, every shot, every match brought to you live on squashlive.com this week from Toronto. And Peter Nicol hammers that ball in the tin. 1-love Power.
Peter looking to attack, went for the short shot. I was surprised he went for that, going so close to the tin and missing.
Let ball, Power serves, left box, 1-love. Everything to play for, 5th game. Not only prize money, not only PSA points, but personal pride between these two. And Power hammering that ball into the front right nick. 2-love Power.
Certainly with the rivalry these two players have, I don't think the prize money or the PSA points come into play. It's just a win-loss.
And there, an immaculate length from NICOL. The ball dies in the back right corner. Winning length from Peter NICOL.
Jonathan
1-2.
frustrated with the length that he's starting to see from Peter.
Well, if NICOL can maintain the consistency, the accuracy he showed in that 4th game, and Jonathan knows he's in for a tough time in this 5th game.
I think if it comes down to fitness, you'd have to put your money on Peter, but certainly Jonathan is competitive. He's not going to let this go easily in this 5th game.
Well, he's going to start shooting in those winners as soon as he can, and Power having to scrape the ball off the sidewall. Peter prolonging this rally. Patient squash, intelligent squash. Power boasts. NICOL gets in deep again. Power boasts. NICOL straight drive.
Peter staying the course with this strategy.
Short
keeping
from
the
Power.
length.
Power goes for a kill again. Peter gets both back. Long, high, deep from NICOL down the left wall. Power's backhand. Power lobs. NICOL volley lob. Right hand wall. Power goes short. NICOL lobs cross court. Power's backhand goes short. NICOL lobs left to right. NICOL volleys into the net. NICOL backs to the tee and finds Jonathan Power standing in the same place. Let ball. 1-2.
Peter keeping some relentless length there, working Jonathan side to side, but keeping him in the back of the court, not letting him have that short shot.
NICOL serving 1-2. 2 games all. And NICOL volleys short, front right. Power stretches. NICOL works it high, deep. So does Power on that right-hand wall. Power volleys. NICOL cross courts. NICOL volleys, comfortable down that left-hand wall. NICOL gets Power back there again. Power goes short. NICOL lobs. Power volleys. It bounces by the service box. Let ball.
1-2.
Fairly loose shot from Jonathan. Peter not protesting that with the officials.
NICOL serving 1-2 left side. That's not a sound test, that's the score. But it's 2 games all, and Peter hammering that volley into the tin. 3-1 Power.
Peter looking for that quick forehand flip cross court, but putting that one into the tin.
So a couple of errors from Peter at the start of this 5th game. Just wants to get back on track, get everything back under control, but not with Jonathan playing like this. Brilliant shot from Power, but NICOL equally brilliant retrieving. The crowd are loving this. Wow, Power, backhand drop. Power cross court. NICOL's doing the work. NICOL volley kill. Now Power's having the chase. Power leans off NICOL, goes into the back right corner. Tremendous squash. NICOL volleys short, volleys again. Not tight. And a little push. Power hits the ball from down the line. And Peter pushes in the back and gets the let.
Great rally from both players. I think that Jonathan's starting to find his racket a little more in this 5th, going for some tighter shots at the front, but Peter keeping the length, staying the course with his strategy.
Power leading 3-1, 5th game. NICOL drops. Power cross court. Power volleys deep, back left. NICOL cross courts. Power high. Floated shot down the wall. Loose from NICOL. Stroke to Power. 4-1.
Both players looking amazingly fresh, considering the length this game is starting to drag on to.
Power serves right to left. NICOL takes it off the back wall. Tight down the line. From NICOL, same from Power. NICOL cross court. Power in the pin. Huge groan from the audience. 2-4.
Fairly easy shot for Jonathan, but putting that one into the tin. Down 4-2.
NICOL volleys, cross court, left-hand line. NICOL goes short, Power lobs. Back left, NICOL keeps it straight. Power goes short. Big cross court from NICOL. Tight down the line. Power cross court, NICOL straight. Left-hand line. Power goes short, NICOL. Powerful cross court drive again. Same from Power. Cross court after cross court. play here going from corner to corner. High from NICOL, short from Power. NICOL lobs. Power volleys, it's loose, and NICOL hammers that ball into the left hand. An ambitious appeal from Power overall.
Great shot from Peter into the nick. I'm surprised Jonathan actually is content to rally with Peter at the back of the court. Peter having the opening there, and a great shot to end that rally.
Loose from Power, NICOL drops. Power looks, appeals, amazingly gets a let. But Power was halfway down Young Street, but still gets the let.
He went the wrong way, but he was fortunate. What do you know about Young Street?
Learning fast, learning fast. NICOL drops, Power crossing. Big cross court from NICOL, he drives it hard and low. Power hoists it deep into the back corner. NICOL drives straight into that back left corner. 4-3, fifth game. This is anyways.
Jonathan back to rallying with Peter at the back of the court. He hasn't been successful with this so far.
That's loose from NICOL. Stroke to Power, appeal by NICOL. Stroke to Power.
Once again, an unlucky,
5-3 Power.
an unlucky spray out of the front court for Peter.
Peter having a chat with the referee, but can't force the official to change his decision. 5-3, Jonathan Power, fifth game. A magnificent match here in Toronto. Semi-final, the YMG Classic. Up and down that left-hand line. Big rally, NICOL goes short. Power drives, forehand, NICOL hacks it, cross-court to get out of trouble. Power boasts, NICOL lobs. Power straight volleys, back right, NICOL cross-court. Backhand from Power, short from Power. NICOL cross-courts, Power straight. NICOL boasts, cross-court Power. NICOL twists to stay in the rally. Power drops, NICOL drops. Power lobs, a float flip from NICOL. He moves it short. Power comes round. Once again, Power at some disadvantage. He's got himself in trouble, but the referee gets him out. 5-3, let ball.
A tough rally for Peter there, though, getting dragged corner to corner, but a let to finish off that rally.
Beautiful drop from NICOL once again. And this time, no let. Power explodes. No let, 4-5. NICOL waits to serve. Power screams at the referee. Hand out, 4-5.
That was
NICOL
a tight shot.
bounces the ball once again. That time, NICOL working short, and Power not getting the benefit of a generous decision, but Power responding with a straight drive, the skies in the back right corner. 6-4 Power.
This fifth is shaping up to be quite a battle. I don't think Peter wants to get into any situations like Paul Price did last night.
I think he'd like to be in the scoring position and then have the opportunity to finish it off.
That's quite right.
This is a more patient rally from both players, and NICOL hits that back left nick.
Timely.
That's now known as the polyfiller nick.
Timely nick from Peter to win that rally. He needed that one.
5-6, NICOL bounces the ball on the floor, serves from the right box. Power straight down the line. NICOL goes short. It kills it front left. This time Power decides not to appeal. It's 6-all.
The ball spraying loose for Jonathan. Peter capitalizing on it in a great short shot.
Power goes short, instantly up the serve, and again. NICOL now stepping to the pace. NICOL volleys. Power the big diagonal. Once again.
6-all from the left.
Power's created his own interference, but escapes with a let. Six-all, fifth game. Anybody's choice this match. That's loose from Power. That has to be a stroke to NICOL.
7-6.
7-6. Well, Jonathan's seeing something that the rest of us can't see, but that's not unusual. Nicol now ahead, 7-6.
Jonathan not deciding to take too much up with the referees at this point.
I think he's probably saving his oxygen there, Steve.
I think he is. I think he's short on it.
Nicol now got his nose in front, 7-6. Nicol skid both, back left. Power goes straight, deep. Cross court again. Nicol twists, turns, gets the ball back. Power short. Wonderful shot by Power. Brilliant retrieving by Nicol. And again, this is amazing stuff. Wish you were here. And an unbelievable rally ends in a left with Peter Nicol producing two breathtaking.
Peter extending that rally, just an amazing amount of shots with some great pickups at the front and getting a let to continue this on.
Nicol leading 7-6, fifth game. This is a classic. Bounces the ball, serves to the left box where Power hoists it high down the line. Nicol cuts it off, volley, and again, two quick volleys from Peter. He's just prowling around the tee. That's deep. Nicol drops. Power the diagonal. Power drops. Nicol lob. Tight down the left wall now from both players. High from Nicol, short from Power. Nicol lobs, not a good one. Power volleys. Power hits the tin. 8-6 Nicol.
Jonathan looking for the shot, and it was there, but hitting the tin. Peter Nicol up 8-6.
And the crowd making a bit of noise. They're willing Jonathan to get back in the match. One or two limey cries. Come on, Peter. 8-6. Nicol serves. Left box. Power cross court. Nicol cross court. Nicol volleys. Power both. Nicol flick drop. 9-6 Nicol.
Great flick from Peter, sending Jonathan the wrong way, winning that point, taking it 9-6. Peter's starting to get some much-needed momentum in this fifth game.
And this is Nicol, the consummate professional. Going forward, that's 10-6. Power, backhand drop, into the tin.
Jonathan's starting to look a little bit weary with the shots that he's selecting.
And Power, fifth game. Power was 4-1 up, 5-3 up, 6-4 up. Now he's trailing 10-6. Nicol on a roll. Fifth game here in Toronto.
Certainly Peter with this momentum is strong.
Power puts in a tight, delicate forehand drop. And the crowd warming, cheering Jonathan. Nicol coming off. Change his racket.
I think he's bleeding. He may have cut his hand on the floor.
As Power gets ready to relaunch this semi-final, trailer 10-7 to Peter Nicol. Nicol steps up the pace. And this time it's Power hits it high.
Great
Power
flick
hits
by Jonathan.
a cross-court flick. Nicol's shot called not up. 8-10 Power.
Both players after a short rest stepping into that rally. Jonathan with a quick flick to win.
Nicol not happy with that call.
The down was an incorrect call. We'll let up.
No, you can't play a let. It's a clean winner. It's a clean winner. You can't
And
play a
the
let.
appeals referee is now giving Peter a let.
You
I
can't.
believe he's overruled it that the ball was
It doesn't
down. They're
matter.
playing a
It's
let
clean
because he's
winner. It's a clean
unsure.
winner.
7-10, please.
7-10.
Interpret the rule properly. If I hit a dead Nick and you
Jonathan
fall
now
down,
giving the
referee
audience
overrules it. It's my point. You know that,
A
right?
lesson in the rules.
He clearly stopped. He lunged. He lunged and the ball bounced
And Peter
twice.
claiming the ball was down and the referee saying he was unsighted, play a let. Jonathan thought he won the rally. Peter thought it was down and the referee calling Peter's shot not up, so he had a bit of everything. However, Power serves at 7-10.
The drama's starting to creep into this fifth game.
Well, Power pulled it out of the bag last night in a sensational fashion against Paul Price. And here he is, trailing 10-7 in the fifth.
As you pointed out though, Alan, I don't think Jonathan wants to roll the dice with Peter getting to 14.
And that's loose from Power. Nicol, an exquisite volley, sending Power corner to corner. Tight from Nicol. Power's doing a lot of work to stay in this rally. But he's back in. Nicol cross courts. Power goes short. Nicol lob. Power volley short. Nicol cross court lob. Nicol elects not to volley. Stroke to Nicol. Power hammers his racket into the left-hand wall.
11-7.
No apparent conduct warning for racket abuse. Nicol, 11-7.
Certainly a shot that loose, you're not often going to find a lead. I think that was probably the right call.
Peter Nicol now 4 points away. That's loose from Power.
Yes, let.
Down the middle. Let ball. Nicol can't believe it. The ball bounced on the tee.
Same shot, very loose from Jonathan. I'm surprised that wasn't a stroke.
Nicol elects not to debate the decision. Gets on with the match. Serves. 11-7. That's high. 2 inches below the out-of-court line for Nicol. Up and down the right-hand line. Power goes short. And again, Power volleys. Nicol hammers it in the nick. Power dives across the floor. Gets a round of applause for his athleticism.
He's asking for a lead here.
I think I got that.
I'm pretty sure the ball was dead before Jonathan dived, however.
I think you're quite right. That ball was certainly down.
It was a very spectacular dive. Jonathan deserves a round of applause for the dive, but probably not deserving a let, because the ball was dead.
Those are the photos that make the papers the next day. Jonathan
Absolutely.
sprawling for the shot.
12-7.
3 points from a place in the final for the second year running. Power boasts. Nicol cross courts. Power boasts. Nicol lobs at full stretch. Power moves him into the back left corner. Power goes short. Nicol drops. Power lobs. Straight down the left wall. Great retrieving by Power. Nicol a high volley into the back right corner. And again, that's loose from Power. Nicol cross court. So does Power. So does Nicol. Up and down the right wall. Power in the back. Cross court. Nicol hammers it short. Power comes in, asks for the
This is
let.
a one-step ball.
Nicol shakes his head. The referee says yes, let. Once again, Jonathan gets out of trouble.
Certainly that ball was up. I think Jonathan was there to pick it up.
Just sat up. It hit the nick but popped up.
It did.
Nicol serves, left box, 12-7. Power moves forward quickly, volleys, works it short. Nicol lobs, Power volleys. And that's tight down the wall.
The crowd loving that one. Some great pace from both players, side to side with some cross courts at the tee. Jonathan hitting it tight.
Power serves 8-12. Nicol not ready. Flicks the ball back to the Canadian, who serves again. Into that right hand, back corner. Power goes short. Nicol drops. Power hacks it. Nicol hits it cross court. Power runs corner to corner. But Nicol punches in that simple volley to the front right corner. Power once again an ambitious appeal. 15 bounces later, however,
Certainly the
it's
right call.
13-8. Nicol.
Jonathan nowhere near that shot. Certainly the right call by the officials.
Nicol hammers it cross court. Nicol floats it high. And Power, was that up? Was that down? Nicol thinks it's down. That
Jonathan
takes Nicol to
conceding it was
match
down.
ball. 14-8, match ball. Nicol serving from the left. Let's see if Power can conjure up another Houdini act this evening. Nicol hits it in the tin.
14-9. Jonathan trying to fire himself up as he did last night. I think it's a tall task to say that he could come back from this, but you just never know what you'll find from Jonathan Power.
Nicol, a match ball, 14-9. Wastes a chance to put it beyond doubt. Hitting that forehand into the tin, and that's loose from Power. But Nicol boasts. Power hits it straight, forehand. Right hand wall, Power goes short. Nicol lobs, Power volley short. High from Nicol, that's out.
Ball is out.
Out of court. Is the Power bandwagon about to start rolling again, Steve Hall?
The crowd behind him, when he can get that racket flying around the court, you just never know what you're going to see.
It's 10-14, match ball. Peter Nicol, a cushion now, 4 points. It was 6 for Power. eroding that lead. Power goes short, drop shot, NICOL lobs. Power again, an amazing shot. NICOL puts it down. 11-14.
Great shot from Jonathan into the net. He's
Now
starting to show some
let's
confidence.
see if NICOL attacks this serve.
Well, I think Peter
high
needs
cross
to.
court. Power flicks. Power goes short, so does NICOL. NICOL goes straight. Power, a big diagonal run. Loose from Power. Straight from Power. Power has to change direction. Once again, NICOL works in deep. NICOL goes short with a volley. And again, Power pushes NICOL in the back. Black ball.
Jonathan hanging in there, down 14-11.
11-14. Power serving. That was loose from NICOL. Stroke to Power. 12-14. Power saves another
Can he
match
do it
ball. That's
again?
4 in a row. Can hiss, and that's in the 10 for NICOL.
14.
Unbelievable. Power's back to 13-14.
He'll feed off this crowd. This is 1 point from being back to even. Unbelievable by Jonathan. Some of the shots he can go for when he's down match ball is just unbelievable.
Power flicks it. NICOL dropped. Power hoists it high, right to left. NICOL on the tee, hunting it down. Power, it's in the 10. NICOL wins 15-13.
The rocket flies out of the
throws his
court.
racket into the Canada Trust foyer. NICOL's in the final. A sensational match. NICOL 15-13. Jonathan Power, the man who produced an incredible comeback to beat Paul Price in the quarterfinals last night. Almost did the same against NICOL, but Peter delighted to just hold it together. Steve Hall, what a finish.
I can't believe Jonathan was able to even get as close to 14 when he was down 14-8 to Peter NICOL.
Great squash, great drama. Let's hope that Peter's got enough breath to come and have a word with us in a moment. What a finish. It looked like Jonathan was on the verge of pulling that one out the fire 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, well, basically, he at the very end, he loosened off again. He made a lot of mistakes coming up to the last few points, and then loosened off, played 2 or 3 great shots. I froze a little bit, gave him a couple of strokes, and then got back to 13-14. But I just thought, then, come on, get back to what you were doing to make how you were winning it before, and that was just straight and tight and slow. And I knew he'd go for it, and he went for it when it wasn't on. That's the nature of it. So basically, I was really pleased with the way I played, the way I finished the first. Should have won it easier. And then the way I played the third, the fourth and the fifth, I played very good squash. And then the second and third, he played extremely well, but I let him by just hacking it around and playing his game. So
Yeah. Well, that was 94 minutes. Is there much left in the tank for tomorrow?
there's plenty left, and yeah, it's just a warm up basically. It's the first hard match this tournament. I'll go and get worked on now, have a good rest. It's been a long year for Stuart as well, so it's going to be a great game. We normally have fantastic games, very open, no referee decisions or anything. We both clear the ball, and it's fun for the crowd to watch, so it should be a great game.
You played Stuart in the Scottish Open final earlier this year. 3-love to you, if I remember rightly. But Stuart's had a good year. He's up to 6 in the world rankings.
Stuart's playing a lot better now than he was, much better than when he was at the Scottish. That was a sort of breakthrough tournament, and then since then he's been as consistent. Semi-final of Qatar, I think of Hong Kong, and then the final here. So I mean, he deserves his number 6, if not higher ranking soon. So I played him at the end of the last half of the year, and I'm going to play him at the end of this half. So hopefully the result will be the same.
So that 5th game punctuated by the injury grate. Can we have a look at the hand? What happened?
That basically. Oh, it won't come off now.
So it's just, oh, right, just a little.
Just took a little bit of skin off.
Right. So I hope Jean managed to capture that on film. So just a little nick to your left thumb.
Now, Peter, when you came in after losing the 3rd game, did you consciously change your strategy to bring it more to the back of the court, go to length?
Yeah, definitely. He was controlling the whole game, and I couldn't afford to let that happen anymore. I was getting very tired physically because he was dominating. He was pulling me all over the place. I had Lee Beechin in my corner who told me to straighten out and play tight and slower, which was by far it was the right tactic.
Certainly it worked.
It worked. It certainly did, and basically stuck him in the corners. It made him tired by him pushing forward, not getting to hit the ball, and then always having to backtrack back to the back corner. If you do that for 5-10 minutes, you're going to feel it. and then the whole game changed until the very last few points.
When you came into the match, were you thinking about Jonathan's match with Paul last night, that he would be tired or feeling that match
Not at all.
extended?
Not at all. Jonathan has got great powers of recovery, and here in Toronto he was always going to put in as much as he had, and there was no way he wasn't going to go the whole distance here tonight.
Well, a great match, Peter. Great match.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Peter. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow in the final against Stuart Boswell. So this is Alan Thatcher and Steve Hall in the commentary box, just waiting for Jonathan to come and join us.
Tough outcome. Tough outcome.
Yeah, that hurts.
Jonathan, you pulled it off last night against Paul Price, desperately close to doing the same tonight against Peter NICOL.
Yeah, could have had it there right at the end there. Unlucky to break the string at 13-14 to miss that drop, so oh well. That's the way it goes. It was you get some good luck, you get some bad luck.
But again, just tonight the gap was just a little bit too big. 14-9, you won 5 points in a row, and then Peter just pinching that match ball. But it's been a great week for you. You're back in action, you've had fitness problems, injury problems, and the body obviously holding up well this week.
Yeah, the body finally felt good, and I think I started to enjoy my squash a little bit more this week, which is nice for me. So I think if I can get a few more weeks and get my training sort of up to scratch, and I should be able to get back to where I was, and that was some good signs. Nothing phenomenal, but some encouraging signs.
Again, a night of pure drama, great entertainment for a full house crowd here in Toronto.
Yeah, there certainly was a bit of action tonight, but yeah, it was a pretty smooth match, some tough rallies, and I had him doing a lot of work in the first 3 games, and unfortunately, yeah, the match maybe yesterday took a bit of a toll on me, and I fell off the pace, and because if I would have been able to keep it up, I think he was really struggling, but he really dug deep and picked up a lot of balls and got some big points, and that's the way it goes.
Stuart Boswell obviously confirming again earlier on why he's now number 6 in the world, beating Lee Beachill in the first semi-final. Do you think he's got much left in the tank to trouble Peter tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I think he's going to have a lot more in the tank than Peter. So, but Peter, you know, has beaten Stuart a number of times, and he's a better player. But you know, on the day, it's going to be close. Stuart's playing real well, and you know, he's certainly shown to be the player coming through.
Jonathan, thanks for joining us. Commiserations on the result this evening, but congratulations on a fantastic match, and we look forward to seeing you here tomorrow for the final. Peter NICOL versus Stuart Boswell in the final of the YMG Classic. It's live on squashlive.com. Thank you, Jonathan, and we'll see you tomorrow.